record to this. Okay. Oh my God, it's been so long since I've done this that I actually can't remember what I need to do. I need to share screen. I need to go here and then share that. And then wait a minute. How do I hide your face from there, Jess? So that, do you care if people see you? No? Okay, cool. Actually, that's what I'll do. I'm still navigating this whole Zoom thing. You'd think I'd have it by now. There we go. Okay, well, firstly, welcome and thank you so much for joining me at such short notice. If you're aware of like my personality type, I am so not like a quick, spontaneous kind of person. I'm very much like structured and regulated and have to think about things over a long period of time. But I was kind of just like, fuck it. It's 2024. I'm going to just like throw it out there and just do a free masterclass on overcoming bad body image. And I think this is so long overdue because when I think about like why I started my platform and why I'm even here and what I work with most with my girls, it's all to do with body image. And even personally myself, every time I need to do more work, it's to do with body image. And I'm happy to say, like, if I'm being very honest with you, for some reason this summer I've struggled more than I have recently in recent years. I don't know what it is. I don't know whether I'm less tan, which, you know what a good tan does, it makes you feel like you're 5 kilos lighter. But yeah, recently I've really struggled personally with body image. The difference being that when I look at my body now, I have the strategies and the tools to overcome it. And even if I can't overcome it, it doesn't impact my day-to-day life. That's, I guess, the biggest message that I want to get across to you today, is that it's not necessarily going to like heal you and fix this thing forever, because I don't know and I don't believe. I don't know because I haven't experienced it yet. And I'm someone who very much needs to experience things to believe things. But I don't believe that we ever get to a point where anything is truly 100% fixed. I believe that we get to a point where we are able to overcome it. We are able to handle it when it rises its ugly head or raises its ugly head. And it's something that we learn to manage, but it's not something that completely ever goes away. In my experience, it hasn't yet. And a lot of the people I've spoken to, it hasn't yet. It's just that you are able to, I guess, deal with it. And what's the word I'm looking for? How often it happens, how regular it occurs is less frequent. So yeah, that's kind of like my message that I'm hoping to get across today, and also then give you the tools and the strategies and all those things so that you can do those things yourself. I'm really hoping that whilst I'm recording and presenting that it will actually pop up if someone does enter. But let's jump into it. Please be really active in the chat tonight. I love an active chat. I love bringing people together. So even at the start of any masterclass that I do, I like to just have like just chat time, like with the girls that are in there. I'm human. I'm a person. Like I also get nervous as well, nervous and excited. So when I get to chat to you guys, it just helps to like settle my nerves a little bit, helps to like settle my excitement, helps me regulate myself. So please be super active in the chat tonight. Ask as many questions as you want. I'm more than happy to answer them. I've given us an hour. And the reason I've given us an hour, once again, if you know me, you know that I can talk, and you also know that I can talk really quickly. So I give myself an hour because it could go either way. I could either like continually talk forever and ever and ever and go well and truly over an hour, or I could talk so quickly and just get it over and done with like that. So regardless of whether I go over or whether we go under, I'm going to actually give it an open mic, and I'm going to allow you guys to ask questions. That is the joys of being here in real time, is that you can pretty much just pick my brain, which I absolutely love. Now, while I'm thinking of it, actually, I don't want to stop sharing, but can I open the chat up? Yes, there we go. whilst I'm thinking of it, if Jess and Sarah are still there, can you just like say hi in the chat, introduce yourself? Both Jess and Sarah that are on here tonight. Sorry, I need to remember that my table wobbles, so I need to keep my hands off the bench. You have both been in my world before. You've both been clients and girlies that I've worked with. So just feel free to like introduce yourself. Let, I guess, Sarah/Jess know what you're all about, what you're interested in, all that kind of stuff, what your challenges are at the moment, what you're hoping to overcome. Obviously, if you're not an oversharer like me and you don't feel comfortable doing that, don't. But like, I'm all here for like, put it all out there. We're here to support each other and all that jazz. If I look this direction, it's because I'm looking at my notes, which have just been logged out. So let me log back in there. Okay, cool. So let's get into it. Welcome to the new girls who are going to be entering my world tonight. I hope you, or tomorrow, or whenever you watch the replay, I really hope you enjoy this and you get to know a little bit more about me and then a little bit more or a lot more about yourself. Also, just like a little disclaimer, I'm a really bad sweater and I'm like hella sweaty. So we're just going to have to roll with that. Why is my arrow not working? Okay. So just a little bit of housekeeping, house rules. It's consistent across all my masterclasses. If you've been here before, you'll know the rules. If you haven't, these are my rules. Please be present. There's no point being here, investing in yourself if you're not going to be present. You're not going to get as much out of it. So just give yourself some space. It's only an hour. Be present. Engage in the chat. Please put your phones away. And if you are on your phone, just make sure that you've got your camera off. And then obviously if you're here, microphone's off, just so we don't get any background noise. That's all pretty standard stuff. Okay. So the reason we are all here tonight is because at some point in our life, or maybe still currently, we are experiencing the struggles that comes with poor relationship with our body, poor body image. So the things that you could be struggling with are things like embarrassment of your body, nasty thoughts about your body, comparing your body to others, regular bad body image days, and you just don't feel confident to wear the clothes that you want to. And we've all been there. Like, I don't know, I'm actually going to just put it out there. I don't think I've ever met anyone, not one person, who hasn't experienced bad body days, bad body image or bad body image days. Even the most beautiful women that I have become friends with, and I'm talking models, like I have actually a past client, and one of my really good friends is a model, and she went to New York, and she's absolutely divine. Like, you look at her and you're like, my God, she has bad body image issues and has for years. And I actually would love to interview her on a podcast. Her story is so intriguing. There you go. I literally just got changed over 10 times because I hated everything I was wearing. And yeah. And so it's something that we literally struggle with day to day. And it's something that we all struggle with. It's probably the one thing that as women, we actually all have in common. And this is where I feel like we as women need to start empowering each other and supporting each other and building these communities and talking about this stuff so that we can actually overcome it together. So I just want to give you just a little bit of background on my experience with body image. I mean, most of you are probably aware, but I know that I've had quite an influx of new followers lately, and some of you are actually in tonight's masterclass. So welcome, firstly, welcome. But I just want to give you a little bit of background on who I am. So I started my journey to healing my relationship with myself when I was 23. So backtrack a little bit before that, from the ages of 15 to 23, I was in a very nasty cycle of shaming my body, distorted eating behaviors, and using exercise as punishment. And my main thing, the main objective of my body image issues was that my body wasn't good enough. And if it wasn't good enough, I wouldn't have friends. So my goal and I believed my purpose in life was to be as skinny as I could, because that was the only way I was going to make friends. I wasn't a loner, by the way. I did have friends, but I was like, I'm going to have more friends if I'm skinnier. I'm going to be liked more if I'm skinnier. So my whole purpose for trying to lose weight was because I wanted more friends. It didn't have anything, or I wanted to be liked. I didn't want more friends. I wanted to be liked. That's the only way I could see that I would have friends and be liked. I'm here to tell you that I'm now 26, and that is such like a bullshit thing. Like, I can't ever believe that I used to think it, but I did. And that's just the reality of it. So that's a little bit about like where I was, and it did get very, very nasty. Like, the relationship I had with myself was incredibly nasty. And then at 23, I'm pretty sure I was 23, I had a coach that was like, Brooke, we actually don't need to focus on you losing weight. We need to actually focus on your mindset and teaching you how to embrace your body and accept your body. And still to this day, it's something that I work on. It's conversations I have every single day with people. Like, this is the biggest, I'm going to say, problem or issue or challenge that I am not only personally faced with, but that I work with women on. And that is why I'm so passionate about it. So I just want to take a moment. If you're new to my masterclasses, I'm a teacher. I teach. You're not going to get out of this without reflecting and without teaching and without having things to actually implement and take away. So be prepared to reflect, be prepared to be questioned, and be prepared to learn, because I'm not here just to give you handouts. I'm here to make you think and work and do. So take a moment. What aspects of your body do you currently struggle with the most? And if you're on here, Jess and Sarah, feel free to pop those in, the ones that you're struggling with the most at the moment. For me personally, mine's always my tummy and the size, like how much it protrudes out. Whilst you're reflecting, my God, it's been such a big day. Whilst you are reflecting, yeah, my tummy and thighs. Yeah, my thighs too, Sarah. Your teeth and your smile. Well, it's funny you say that, because I was actually just about to say, body image doesn't have to be that you perceive yourself as bigger. It can also be physical things about ourselves, the way things are shaped, and it can also be my spelling. I teach year one. I'm used to spelling errors. And it can be being too little. Like, I've spoken to girls that are like, I'm too skinny, and that's where their body image comes from. That's where their biggest concern is that they're too skinny. Before I give you all of the information and the tips and the tricks and actually teach you, I want to let you know that everyone thinks that there's this magic thing that they're going to do. It's like everything. It's like diets. Everyone believes that there's going to be this magic strategy, this magic tool that I'm going to give you, or this magic information that I'm going to give you that's going to fix your body image issues or your challenges, or whatever you want to refer it to, your bad body image. There's not one strategy, there's not one tool, and there's not one way that's going to work. What's going to work and be sustainable is going to take a period of time, a long period of time, consistency in your approach, and it's actually going to take a lot of discipline, reflection, and I was going to say intervention, but it's not intervention, but it is kind of, because you're intervening on particular thoughts and actions. But once I teach you how to do this, it's going to become so natural that you're going to be able to do it all the time. And I'm confident that Jess will back me up on that, because what I'm going to teach you tonight is applicable to everything in your life. And I'm actually going to give you an opportunity to reflect on that later at the end. So I'm hoping you've taken a moment to work out what parts of your body you're actually struggling with at the moment, because we're now going to take that and we're going to then actually practice putting it into place and being able to break down why this is happening and how you can overcome it. If at any point, oh, sorry, the table's shaking again. If at any point I'm going too quick, girls, just like tell me to slow it down. Okay, so the focus. Let me just move you to the side there. Okay, the focus. We want to recognize this is what you want to learn how to do. if you really want to overcome these issues, you need to recognize your self-destructive thoughts about your body. You need to work out where these thoughts are coming from and then gain strategies and tools to use daily to overcome this bad body image. And Jess is probably thinking now like, oh, I know exactly where Brooke's going with this, because it is literally, once I teach you this, you can apply this to everything in your life. So this is what you want to learn how to do. Recognize self-destructive thoughts about your body, work out where these thoughts are coming from, and then have strategies and tools that you can actually put in place. Okay. Obviously, these are just some signs, but they're not all the signs. You might experience different ones. So you've got constantly comparing your body to others, the constant need to check how your body looks in windows and mirrors. I'm also just going to put another disclaimer out there. I haven't proofread this, so if there's spelling errors, just like ignore them. Not feeling good enough because of how your body looks. You're saying or thinking nasty comments about your body. This is one that people don't think of. You are joking about your body. You are making jokes of your body. So many people do it and they don't realize that that is actually a sign that they have a poor relationship with their body. You might be hiding your body behind something. So an example of that would be like you're sitting in a chair and you pull over a pillow to sit it in front of your tummy so that people can't see your tummy rolls. You might be avoiding social events because of your body, or avoiding clothes because of your body. So these are just some. There are so many others out there that you may be experiencing, but it's about becoming aware of what are the signs that I may be having a bad body image day, or that I may have a poor relationship with my body. Girls, if you can think of any others that you experience, chuck them in the chat so that others can see them, because they might be experiencing them too. So another reflection moment. I love a good reflection. I want you to just think about it. I'm actually going to give you a bit of time for this one. I want you to think about like, what are your signs of bad body image? And if you've got pen and paper, write them down, because this is really going to help you to start picking up and recognizing those destructive thoughts and actions. So I want you to write down, what are your signs of bad body image? Do you experience anything else you would consider signs of bad body image? And I'm just going to give you like a minute or two, just write as many down as you can. Okay, so now that, I mean, if you're already here, then you know that you already have signs of poor relationship with yourself. But one term that I often use that I'm not sure whether a lot of people are aware of what it actually is the term body dysmorphia. And I will probably use it throughout this masterclass. So I do just want to give you a quick little rundown of what it is, or a little definition. So body dysmorphia is when you as the individual perceive your body to be different to how it actually looks. So for a lot of us, that is that we see ourselves as bigger than we actually are, but it can be the opposite too, where you see yourself as littler than you actually are, depending on what your relationship is like with yourself. And it can take years for you to actually see your body for what it is and actually how it looks, which sounds really unusual, but it's a real thing. We often do see ourselves as bigger than how everyone else in our world actually sees us. And it's as you start to heal your relationship with yourself and you get a little bit more along your journey, you actually start to notice things where you're like, oh, is that actually what I look like? I can remember like times along the journey where I would put on a certain piece of clothing and I'd be like, oh, like that actually looks huge on me. Why am I wearing something that is so big? But previously to that, that was my size. Like I believed that to be how it was supposed to look, or that was my actual size. And you hear it a lot with clothing sizes, when a lot of people believe that they are a bigger clothing size than they actually are. And it can take a long time for you to become, I guess, familiar with how your body actually looks. So don't be surprised that if along this journey, you actually start to notice some decent changes about your body. It's not that your body's actually changing, it's that your mind is changing, because at the end of the day, that is the goal. We want to be changing the perspective that we have of our body, not actually our body. And don't get me wrong, your body will ebb and flow. We're fully aware of that. There are times where you gain weight. There are times when you lose weight. There are times when your hips will grow. For all the young girls, yes, sadly, it does happen. And there'll be times when like your thighs will change and your boobs will grow, and then you've got stretch marks in places. And like being a woman is fucking phenomenal, but also shit at the same time. Okay, so we want to reduce the bad body image days, and it takes, like I said, consistency, time, and patience. And you will eventually learn to accept your body for what it does. You do get there, but it does take a long time. Here we are. This, if I can give you anything tonight, this is it. This is it. Behind every single thing that happens in our world, this is the cycle. This is the reason why we act the way we do. This is the reason why we have our beliefs. This is the reason why we have our thoughts. This is the reason why we feel certain ways. It all comes down to this one diagram, this one little cycle here. So if you've seen Mastering Mindset 101, then you will be familiar with this cycle. I also have shared it on my Instagram as well, because I want people to understand that whilst I'm giving you tools and strategies and all these things, they are the minute to what's actually going to get you to where you want to be. This here is the sustainable way to create the change. If you really want to actually embrace your body and accept your body for what it is, this is it here. It's not affirmations and it's not journaling. That's all activities and tasks that require you to do this first and that are a part of changing this cycle. So this here is the thinking cycle, and this thinking cycle determines everything about you, pretty much. Okay. And unfortunately, within this thinking cycle, the more negative your thoughts are, the more negative your beliefs come, the more negative your feelings become, the more negative your actions become. And unfortunately, those actions then confirm your thoughts, which then makes them become more negative. And then your beliefs become more negative. And you can see how this then becomes a really, really big tornado or a spiral, and it just keeps getting more and more out of control. What we can do is we can use our knowledge of this cycle, the thinking cycle, to intervene at certain parts, usually around the action. We intervene at the action, hence why you have your affirmations and your journaling, they're actions. We can intervene at actions so that we can change our thoughts, which change our beliefs, which changes how we feel about ourselves, which then changes our actions. Okay? I cannot stress enough to you how important this cycle is. This is the game changer. This is what will change everything in your life. This is what will just change your perspective on how the world works. Okay? Sounds dramatic. It's not. Okay, so I want you now to think. We're going to go through the cycle together. So we always start with the thought. If we were to backtrack a few slides, one of them says that you need to recognize your self-destructive thoughts. That's the first step. If you're struggling with your thoughts, think about your actions, the signs. So if you're mirror checking all the time, that's an action. It's a sign. So when you're mirror checking, what is the thought that's going into your mind? What are you actually thinking? Or if you are, like Sarah said, she's put on 10 outfits. What is the thought that's going through your mind when you are putting on an outfit and you're not liking what you see? I'm going to give you a minute. Write down your thoughts. What thoughts come to mind about your body? Mine is always like, it's just always like, oh, I wish my tummy wasn't so round or not flubby. I can't think of the actual word I use, but like, I wish my tummy was flatter is usually what it is. And Jess and Sarah, feel free to actually like put yours in, because we can work through this whilst you're on here. Even think of the language that comes up. Is there like ew, gross? Like what's the language that you use about your body? Like what nasty terms come to mind when you are thinking about your body? Is your body labeled as disgusting? Like how do you label your body? This honestly could take like hours. Like you could spend so much time coming up with thoughts, and this is something that I want you to learn. Like I said, I'm not giving you, you're not going to be healed after tonight, but what you're going to be able to do is you're actually going to be able to overcome these thoughts because you're going to have the knowledge in how to do it. Yucky, why do I look like that? It's been one that I hear all the time, not only from myself but from so many girls. Yeah, exactly. Yuck. Why do I look like? Yeah. I wish I had the perfect smile with straight teeth. Yeah, exactly. Like they're thoughts that come to mind all the time for a lot of girls, especially yours, Sarah. Like, yuck, why do I look like that? And it just rolls off the tongue. We just say it so naturally that it's actually really sad. So obviously, once you've got your thoughts, if we go back to the cycle, we've got thoughts. Our thoughts determine our beliefs. Now, what I mean by beliefs, everyone has belief systems. It's what you believe about yourself and about the world and about others. So if you're thinking about what do you believe about others, if you're someone that has the most general interpretation of others, then you believe that everyone is a good person. You believe that everyone has the ability to be kind. What I'm asking you to do today is think about what beliefs do you have about yourself. So if you're thinking, yuck, why do I look like that? What do you actually believe about yourself? What do you believe about your body? Do you believe that your body's genuinely not good enough? Remember, my belief was that I genuinely believed that people would like me more if I had a particular body type, if I was skinnier. What do your thoughts tell you about your beliefs? So this is where the curiosity comes into it. We need to go into everything with a curious mind. It's like, oh, I had that thought. Why did I have that thought? Like, what is it that's contributing to that thought? If I thought, yuck, why do I look like that? What is the belief that I have about myself to think that my body is yuck to look this way? Is it that I have a belief that our bodies have to look a certain way, otherwise known as society standards? Is it that I have a belief that my body is not good enough for the way it looks? Is it there a belief that I will be more popular if I look a certain way? Is there a belief that I will like myself when I look a certain way? Is there a belief that there is, I don't know, I'm trying to think of one for yours, Jess. Is there a belief around, I mean, you'd probably already know your belief because we've done so much work around this that you probably can pick it up like that. So if you feel confident, Jess, and you have the belief, can you just pop it in so we can see the pattern? But yeah, I want you to think about, like, you have your thought, what belief, where is the thought coming from? What belief do you have about yourself? What belief do you have about your smile? What belief do you have about your body part, whatever it is? What is that belief? So hot. I need to just put my hair up. I can't see you, Jess, and I'm like, maybe she doesn't know her belief. No, she's typing. I'm like, sis, you should know this by now. It should be coming like that. I'm not going to be good enough for my partner. Yes, Sarah, that's such a common one. Thought is that first impressions matter most. Your face is the way someone will remember you. Yeah, so you've got a genuine belief that someone's going to judge you or base their thoughts about you or their opinions based on your smile and your face, which in reality, like, this is the thing where we have to separate like logic from, what's the other one? Logic and not delulu, because I'm not thinking about delusional, but it's like the reality is, and the logic is, no one's going to actually judge you or your personality based on your smile, but in your mind and in your world, that's exactly what they're going to do. So it's being able to separate. That's the other side of this. It's like being able to separate, well, is there any truth to this? Which is the next thing you have to ask yourself. So whenever you come up with a belief, it's like, is there any truth to this belief? Or is it just a belief that I have acquired over time? And 9 times out of 10, when we have a limiting belief, regardless of whether it's about our body, money, friendships, relationships, whatever it is, there's no truth to that story. There's no truth to that belief. So it's like yours said, I'm not going to be good enough for my partner. Is there any truth to that story? Is there any proof that your partner's not going to value you because of your body? Don't get me wrong. In some cases, obviously, that does become a reality because there are men out there who don't value women for more than their body, but we just fuck them off and move on anyway. So if they're there for that reason, off they go. But that's what I want you to start asking yourself. So you've got your thought. What belief do you have? And is there any truth to this belief? Because if there's no truth to it, why are you holding on to it? Is this a belief that you can then move on from? Can we let go of this belief so that we can actually start to embrace who we are? Now, to let go of the belief, that's like a whole nother thing in itself. Like that in itself is just, I'd be digging down a rabbit warren there. But in a nutshell, you want to be able to forgive whoever has contributed this belief to you. So once you've worked out the belief, so let's go with, I'll just use my own as an example. So I used to believe that, well, this one I had no truth to. So I used to believe that I would have more friends or be liked more if I was skinny. Is there truth to that? Fuck no. I've always had friends and I've never been the size that I was desiring to be. I'm liked. People, not everyone likes me, but people like me. So my body isn't determining whether I'm liked or not. People like me for who I am and what I do and my purpose and the impact that I have. That's why people like me, not because of my body. So there's no truth to that. But for an example, when it comes to like how my like body image even occurred, and I've told this story a couple of times. So if you've heard it, I'm really sorry. If you haven't heard it, you're about to hear it. So when I was 7, I remember opening the freezer to get lunch and I pulled out like a Jenny Craig or whatever the brand was burger. And I said to Mum, can I have this? And Mum said to me, no, you can't have that because that's a special meal that adults have so that they can lose weight. So in my mind, I then believed from the age of 7 that I needed to eat a certain way. And as I was an adult, I had to actively aim to be skinny and lose weight because that's what Mum had said. And that is what I then believed. So for me to be able to overcome that belief and to let that belief go, I actually then need to forgive Mum for giving me that belief. Okay. And that's where journaling and affirmations and that's where the actions come into it. They're the things that are going to help you to be able to overcome the belief, but you have to be able to backtrack and do so much like back work to actually be able to get there. Okay. So if you're wanting to go a little bit deeper on that, that's kind of where you would start. See you, Sarah. Have fun at dinner. Okay. So our beliefs create how we feel. Okay. So if you're believing that your body's not good enough, you're going to feel like shit. You're going to hate what you see. You're going to feel sad. You're going to feel angry, frustrated, annoyed. You're going to feel all those negative feelings and emotions. Okay. So you need to be able to also recognize, what is this belief making me feel? How is it making me feel? If it's making me feel like shit, well, then it's a belief that needs to go. Because we cannot spend our life feeling like shit. The people who want to spend their life feeling like that, I just will never understand. But I'm positive that you're all here because you don't want to feel that way anymore. So what we need to then do is reflect on, how does this make me feel? So I'm going to give you a moment, reflect on, how does this make me feel? What is my belief making me feel? Honestly, I don't even know why I bother writing notes, because I don't even look at them. So the next part of this is that our feelings create our actions. The way we feel determines how we're going to act. So if you're feeling sad or angry or frustrated, you're going to act out in that way. And that is when we have the actions of mirror checking. That's when we have the actions of grabbing at our tummy, or poking and prodding and pulling things, or changing our outfit 10 times, or I don't know, avoiding social situations. All of those things, they're the actions. Okay. So I want you to think, how does this make me act? What actions do you often have when you are feeling bad about yourself, annoyed at the fact that your body looks this way, angry that you don't like whatever it is about yourself? How does it make you act? Do you avoid? Do you poke and prod? Do you shame yourself? What do you actually do? So what you should have now is a nice little cycle. You should have a lovely little cycle that looks something like this. You've got your self-destructive thoughts, because we all have them. You should now have an idea, or a rough idea, of where the beliefs, what your beliefs are because of these thoughts. You should now know what feelings are attached to those beliefs and how it makes you feel. And then the actions that are influenced by the way by the way you feel during those times, because of that belief and because of that stupid thought. So that then shapes your thought. This is where we get to intervene. This is where you get to make a decision whether you're going to allow your action to confirm the thought, to confirm that limiting belief, and to confirm that negative feeling. Or you get to make a choice to intervene here with action that is going to help change the thought, change the belief, create more positive feelings, and create or influence more positive actions towards yourself. Don't know about you, but personally, I'm going to choose to intervene here. Okay. So I'm going to give you, actually, no, I'm not going to give you time, sorry, because I'm running out of time. What I am going to do is I'm going to ask that at the end of this, take that cycle that you've already come up with, look at how you're going to intervene, because I'm going to give you strategies in a minute. I want you to look at how you're going to intervene, and I want you to actually come up with a plan. What do you want to think? What do you want to believe about your body? How do you want to feel? And how do you want to act? If we can create what we want, it's like setting little goals. That's what we're working towards. We want to feel this way. We want to think this way. We want to act this way. Okay. But the real question is, where else are your negative thoughts playing out in your life? Because if you have negative thoughts about your body, where else are they playing out in your life? Because I can guarantee it, if you're thinking negative things about your body, you're thinking negative things about your life, you're thinking negative things about your career, you're thinking negative things about your exercise, you're thinking negative things about everything. take a moment, just a really quick moment, think about, quickly jot it down if you can think about them. If they come to mind, quickly jot down, where else are these negative things, these negative thoughts playing out in your life? Because I can guarantee you they will be. I love this shit. I love this shit. This just exposes everything because it's like, it just makes you think and reflect and it just exposes everything. But now that you have that cycle and you've done it once, wherever else these thoughts are playing out in your life, you now apply that thinking cycle to that thought. I think this. Why do I think that? Become curious. Because I believe this. Well, that belief makes me feel like this. My feeling is making me act like this. Well, shit. My actions are then confirming my thoughts. How about I intervene and change it there? Okay, let's get into the juicy stuff because I'm pretty sure this is why you're actually all here. You didn't want to know about the thinking cycle. You didn't really want to know about that. You just want to know what I do and what you can do on bad body image days and how to overcome it. Okay, like I said, this is kind of all like the fluffy stuff, not the nitty gritty. That's why I started with the nitty gritty. So what do you do on a bad body image day? Well, first, you're going to recognize the thought, aren't you? Because we've just done a whole thing on that. So you're going to recognize the thought. You're going to ask yourself, why do I think this about myself? And before you do any of the other stuff, you're actually going to have a go at using the thinking cycle because I'm not just wasting my breath over here and my voice telling you all about it. Then you're going to put on clothes you feel comfortable in. I know that I'm a big advocate for like, put it on, wear it. But like, you know what? If you feel like shit, don't. Why make yourself feel shitter? There's no point. If I feel shit in something, I don't wear it. I change. If I'm changing it 10 times, then yeah, I need to probably question why I'm changing it 10 times. But like, if I've put on, prime example, shorts, I changed my shorts today. I had like my gym shorts on. I don't even know what they're called because they're not booty shorts, but like the tight short ones. What are they even called? They're not leggings because leggings go the whole way. So they're just like short leggings. Anywho, that's not a part of the story. So I put on the first pair, but the first pair I was wearing, they have a very like wide waistband and they really like dig into my hips, which then means I have like the bulge. And I know you know that you know exactly what I'm talking about. It has like the bulge on my hips. My hips are one of my, not my insecurities anymore, but if I'm having a bad body image day, that usually has something to do with it, is the width of my hips. And I also then put on a tight fitted singlet with it today. I, for the life of me, could not stop looking at myself in the mirror. So I got to a point where I was like, why am I doing this to myself? If I'm not comfortable, I'm only going to be uncomfortable in the gym. And I want to be comfortable in the gym. If I'm going to work out, I can't be thinking about myself. I need to think about other things. So I changed my shorts to a pair of shorts that I knew I liked on because then I don't have to think about it. I'm still wearing the same outfit. I'm still wearing my shorts. I'm just wearing something I feel more comfortable in. So if you're having a bad body image day, don't push yourself to wear something you don't feel comfortable in. Put on clothes you feel comfortable in. If that's like trackies and a tee, do that. If it's just changing your shorts like I did, do that. Wear something comfortable. The next thing, we want to start focusing on what our body does for us, not how it looks. That's the change in perspective that we're aiming for. So think of 3 things that you're grateful for about your body. What does your body do that you are grateful for? If you can't even do that, if you can't even come up with 3 things that you are grateful for that your body does for you, which could be possible, like that is a very high chance that is possible because when you are caught in that spiral, you don't like anything about your body. So you can't see the things that it does for you. Just pick 3 things that you're grateful for about your life or about something that's happened today or whatever it is. We just want to start switching that mindset to think about the more positive things. Okay, so that's the purpose of that. Ideally about your body. If it can't be about your body, just 3 things you're grateful for. Do something you enjoy, something that makes you smile. Okay, because when we are able to do things that make us feel good and make us smile, We then start to think more positively. It starts to change those beliefs. We feel good, so we act good. It's just breaking the cycle for that day. We're not sitting there moping around and being miserable about it because we've just intervened and we're doing something fun and something that we love and enjoy. It doesn't have to be a big thing, just a little thing. So that's what you're going to do on the day off. You're not, if I can speak, you're actually going to remind yourself, this is a feeling that is temporary. It's not going to last forever. I think sometimes we get so caught up in the feeling that it's going to last forever, and it doesn't last forever. It's literally a day. It might even be an hour, and it could even be 3 minutes. The goal is to get it down to like 30 seconds. But however long it is now, it's temporary. It's not going to last forever. And you need to remind yourself of that. It's temporary. Okay, this is where it's at. In my opinion, this is where it's at. We want to reduce the amount of days that we have. To reduce the amount of days that we have, we want to implement tasks and practices every single day. I know that sounds like a lot. It's not going to be a lot because they're just little tasks that become a part of your routine. And we're also going to, here we go, back to that thought process, we're going to master our thoughts. We want to become a master of our thoughts, okay? So this is just a quick little rundown of some of the activities or tasks or things that you can focus on. If you really wanted to, you can Google it and so many things come up. Or it's trial and error. What worked for me won't necessarily work for you. It might not work for Jess. It might not work for Sarah. Like it may not work for you. We're all individuals and we have to trial and error things. But personally, for me, journaling and reflection time is huge. Because I journal and reflect so often, the thinking process is natural for me. When I have a thought, I can automatically identify where the belief is coming from. If I feel a certain way, I can identify what the belief is because I'm so quick and so good at journaling and reflectioning that I don't even actually need to journal anymore. I just do it in my mind. So journaling and reflection time can be really powerful in the early stages to set yourself up, especially to master your thoughts. Affirmations are really good in conjunction with that whole thought process because the affirmation is obviously affirming a positive belief. So that's where, you know how I said after this, go and sit down and actually think about like, what do you want to think about yourself and your body? What do you want to think about? What do you want to think about your body? What do you want to believe about your body? How do you want to feel about your body? And how do you want to act? Your affirmations are based on that. So if you want to believe that your body is worthy, your affirmation is, my body is worthy. And there's actually a link to say that singing it helps you to believe it quicker. There's something about music and the brain, and it rewires your brain. That's once again a whole nother thing. But if you're interested, neuroplasticity is where it is at. So your brain can actually rewire itself when we practice certain things. And affirmations is reaffirming and practicing a belief that you want to have. So after a while, that pathway in your brain is going to strengthen and you're going to start to believe it. Self-care is a really good one. I did a post today about self-care. Not overdoing it. Self-care is just so overdone nowadays. Like, I personally do not have the time, the energy, or the want to sit in a bubble bath with my mask on, reading my book, and I don't drink wine, but drink wine. So self-care is just the simple act of caring for your physical, mental, and emotional and spiritual well-being. It's things like drinking water. It's things like journaling. It's things like giving yourself quiet time, like where you don't talk or you don't listen to anything. You just have silence. It's the simple things. And if you can't find those times to sit and just reflect, do it in the shower. Like, what else are you doing in the shower apart from maybe washing your hair and shaving? Boundaries with yourself and others are so important when it comes to this, because we're not just focusing on changing bad body. The way to change bad body image is to change your perspective of yourself and to change your mindset towards yourself, but it's also going to come from changing your environment. So setting boundaries with yourself and with others. A boundary I set with myself, which was a crucial pivoting point, was to remove everyone from social media that made me feel shit about my body. That was a boundary that I had to put in place for myself. Even if they were like friends, I just muted them. Didn't want to see their content. Made me feel shit. Well, I don't want to see something that makes me feel shit. Another boundary I had to put in place for myself. This was a hard one. When I was trying to teach myself to stop mirror checking, I put the boundary in place that anytime I walked past a window or a mirror, I wasn't allowed to look. Like the thought was there to check and to look, but I had to be strong enough to be like, nope, keep walking, don't look. It was a boundary I put in place with myself. Boundaries with others, think about the people in your life. Do they make you feel good? Do they not make you feel good? If they don't make you feel good, cut that friendship, cut that relationship. Like, and if you can't cut it, distance, put something in place, like distance yourself from it. Obviously, this one coincides with what you can do on the day. Write a list of feel-good tasks to complete regularly. So give yourself, I love doing this. And if you have a partner, we actually did it together. Brady and I did one together as well. So we wrote a list, or I wrote a list of everything that makes me smile, all the activities and tasks that make me smile. So like going for a coffee walk, meeting up with girlfriends, going for brunch, going to the beach, like anything that makes me feel really good and happy. Baking, eating chocolate, like simple things. Do one of those every couple of days, because we want to start generating those feel-good activities, feel-good actions. Feeling, when we feel good, we then start to believe good things, we then start to think good things. Like it all just comes together. Even if this doesn't make sense because it's not directly linked to body, just trust me, it works. Surround yourself with the right people. That is crucial. I can put my hand on my heart and say I have like 4 or 5 friends, like good friends. I have lots of friends, but I have 4 or 5 good friends. If I needed something then and now, I have 5 people I would call on, and I would call on them for all different things because they're all in my life for a specific reason and a specific purpose. This one is a game changer. If you actually want to accept your body and you actually want to stop comparing yourself to other people, discover who you actually are. Go deeper than your looks. When you know who you are and you are so confident in who you are, you don't care how your body looks, because that's not your priority. Your priority is knowing exactly who you are, exactly what you stand for, exactly what you value, and exactly what your purpose is. Which leads me to my next one. Who are you? Write these down. This takes ages to do. You cannot do this in 1 minute. I can assure you of that. This took me months. It took me 3 months with a coach to work this out. So if you can do it tonight, then you are already the master. So I want you to quickly take a moment to reflect, because this is going to be really, I think, eye-opening for some of you. Who actually are you? Who are you? What are your values? What do you value? What are your beliefs and what are your boundaries? What do you actually stand for? What makes you who you are? If I was to say, and this is a classic one, I love pulling this on people. I did it to myself, actually. I am a teacher, and I was specifically a primary teacher. If you'd said to me, who are you when you're not a primary teacher? Who are you when you are just Brooke? I couldn't tell you. I had no idea who I actually was. I had no idea what my values were. I had no idea what my beliefs were. And I had no idea. Well, I did have my boundaries, but I didn't have strong boundaries. So who are you? If you're not the mum, who are you? If I was to say, take your career out of it, and who are you? What are your values? What are your beliefs? Like, who actually are you? And I can guarantee that there's probably quite a few of you sitting here right now being like, I actually don't know who I am. Which is why you are having these bad body image days, because you are basing who you are on something that is materialistic, which is your body. You have no understanding of who you actually are. So take the time to actually learn who you are. That brings us to the end of our, did I make the hour? Look at that time. A minute to spare. Jess, if you have any questions, feel free to pop them in the chat, but I am just going to quickly talk about one-on-one coaching while we're here. If this is something tonight that sparked an interest in you to be like, I want to take this further, I want to know who I am, I want to know what my values are, I actually want to learn my beliefs, I can actually probably get out of this now. then I want to talk about my coaching for you, because I know Jess will back me up on this, but there is so much value in investing in yourself, learning who you are, so that you can actually become confident in yourself and your body. And I want to share with you exactly what my coaching is about. Not only do I focus on body image, I focus on life, I focus on goal setting. I just focus on becoming exactly who you want to be, which is why my program is called Becoming You. It is wherever and whatever direction that you would like to take it, that is exactly what it is for. I am there to support you to become whoever you want to be. So I offer two, actually I offer three now. And I don't know if everyone's seen this, but I now offer coaching to under 18s. I mean, I've worked with under 18s before, but I now have a specific offer for them. So I'm going to start with my over 18s, and that is my Becoming You program. I offer two different offers. I have an 8-week option. And in that 8 weeks, and in the 12 weeks, I should say, you get one-on-one coaching, 1 45-minute session a week. And you also have access to a Voxer app, which is where we chat daily, we celebrate and we reflect, and I get to help you on your journey as we transition from who you are in that moment where you're not too sure who you are, what your values are, all that kind of thing, and then taking you to exactly where you want to be. Now, Jess, feel free to jump in at any point here, because you've been on this transition, so you know exactly what it's all about. So that's the Becoming You program. For 8 weeks, we are looking at $2,000 now, and it is on a payment plan if you need. If it's on a payment plan, it is a little bit more expensive, because obviously when you pay in full, there is always a little bit of benefit to go with it. But to be on a payment plan, $2,200, and the payment plan can be split up over 3 months, and it can be split up to however you like. So if you need it to be monthly, fortnightly, weekly, whatever it is, then that is totally up to you. And then of course for the 12 weeks. So 12 weeks does differ a little bit, because it's a little bit longer. You get more out of it. But what it is the first 6 weeks, we do one-on-one intense. And then by the time you get to the 6th week, you get to a point where you're like, okay, I know how to do this. I need more time to implement. And when you need more time to implement, you don't need me in your face telling you to reflect and telling you how to do things. So that's when we back it off to fortnightly calls, Zoom calls, and they're still 45 minutes. You still have access to Voxer. Everything is the same as the 8 weeks, other than you go from having intense one-on-ones to a little bit more spaced out, so that you've got time to learn how to do it. Because my goal as a coach is to make sure that when you leave me at the end of that 8 or 12 weeks, that you feel confident to do it by yourself. That is until you're ready to go again, because that's usually what happens. There's usually a cycle. You start with the 8 or 12 weeks, you go away, you do it, then you're like, I'm ready to go again. So for the 12 weeks, it is $3,000 pay in full, $3,200 on a payment plan. And like I said, that's me ready to go again. Fuck yes, you are. But once you're in, then it's, yeah, we'll talk. We will talk. So on a payment plan, it is exact same. It's however you want it to be broken up, except with obviously being more, you get it over 5 months. So over the 5 months, you can break it up into monthly, fortnightly, weekly, whatever it needs to be. So that is my Becoming You program. It is all about getting to know who you are, becoming so confident in yourself and your body, and just thrive in life. I absolutely love it. I haven't had anyone tell me that they haven't loved it yet. And if they, yeah. So I absolutely love it. And obviously, if it's something that you want to learn how to do, just send me a DM or an email, and I will happily get in touch with you. Or there is a link in my bio where you can apply. Now, just quickly, if you are under 18, I have a new offer for you. And obviously, I probably need to, like, if you're very young, like 15 and under, I need to talk to your parents. But it is 6 weeks. And they're 30-minute calls, and you still have access to Voxer, and it is $800 for you. So if that is something that you are interested in, make sure that you get in contact with me. Obviously, this is just a little taste tester for what it actually is. And there is so much deep diving, so much reflection, and where you are now is not where you will be at the end of this call, and it is not where you will be in the next 5 weeks, 10 months, whatever it is. Now that you've started this journey, you are just on a journey to just excel yourself. And I'm honestly so proud of you for taking the time tonight, even though it is only a free investment. This is where it starts. You've now got the tools to be able to start and to continue your journey. So you should be really proud of yourself. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. I really appreciate your time. And I'm pretty proud of myself because that is only 5 minutes over. So thank you so much, whether you're here or watching the replay. Feel free as well to take photos and upload them to your stories to let me know that you've watched it. Please give me your feedback. I'm all here for it. Or even just slide into my DMs and say, hey, I'm always here for a chat.